We took things for granted. We expected coffee in the morning. We expected free Wi-Fi. When those were taken from us, we survived. When communications broke down, the trains stopped and the internet went dark, we survived.
But when the pharmacies were looted and hospitals shut down, asthma became lethal. And with no police to protect you, did you own a gun?
Did your neighbor?
Some survived.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Scrappy Academy. My name is Captain Nemo. And in this very special video, I'm bringing you the first look into Tom Clancy's Division 2. Stay tuned. Today we're looking at early access into Division 2. This game officially comes out in mid-March. And yours truly, right here at Scrappy Academy, will be bringing you all of the early access content, including official gameplay and all of the year one content that's going to come to the game. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned to the latest Division 2 content right here at Scrappy Academy. I'm also going to link all of the timestamps to the gameplay in the description of this video. Make sure to check that out if you're just interested in that. And as a side note, all of the gameplay in today's video is recorded in 4K and on completely maxed graphical settings. Everything is turned all the way up for your viewing pleasure. So, Division 2, a very highly anticipated follow-on to the first Division game. This is a high-paced, third-person shooter that's taking place in Washington, D.C. You get a small introduction into what happened and get dropped straight into the action, where you start as a Division 2 agent trying to make it back into the base of operations, which happens to be the old White House. Let's get right into the action.
Incoming alert on the SHD emergency channel. Flash priority.
The base of operations is under attack. Hostile forces have breached our southern perimeter. We are in need of immediate assistance. Repeat, need immediate assistance from any nearby agents.
Now the first thing that I noticed is the rich detail in the environment. Ubisoft really went a long way to make sure that everything is alive and feels real. As you progress through the game, you really get a feel for the environment really interacting with you. All of the animals, the birds, the small rodents, the grass, everything is alive. The car doors open and close. Even items sitting on the table can be interacted with. In fact, while sneaking around, you have to be careful to not throw or push anything off the tables, because that can give you away to the enemy. Those little touches go a long way to help you immerse into this world of Division 2. I found the movement in the game to be very familiar and natural. I'm a big fan of the Gears of War series, and this really reminds me of that. Dodging bullets and running from cover to cover, and advancing on the enemies with the parade of bullets is really satisfying. I love that pretty much anything can be used as cover in this game. And selecting your next cover and running to it can be done with one button, allowing you to still shoot and be able to concentrate on the enemies. Now the enemies in this game do not feel spongy. Let me explain. In some games, you have to empty an entire clip into an enemy to make sure that you take them down. And this is what some gamers refer to as a spongy enemy. Division 2 does a really good job walking that thin line between sponginess and something that's too realistic. Your foes have a level and progress with you as you climb into the rank. And at times you do encounter heavily armored units, and those will be quite tough to take down. Either way, you get rewarded for headshots and critical damage. So having good accuracy and taking your time with the shots does reward you in the end. Plus you get extra points, and it's really cool dropping an enemy with one headshot. So after clearing a few enemies and a bunch of gunfights, we make it to the base of operation, or the White House.
Safe area detected.
This is you. Welcome to DC. I'm Manny. I run comms. I'm guessing the division alert brought you here? Damn glad to see you. Let me show you exactly how screwed we are. Ever since the JTF imploded, the city's become a playground for murderous fuckheads. There are several main factions, and a whole lot of bottom feeders sucking up whatever the big dogs miss. A few civilian settlements are still holding out against all this villainy. They need more help than we've been able to provide, especially since the Division network went dark. That's Kelso. She's one of the last surviving agents in DC. She's operating out of the theater settlement on a priority mission. You should go check in with her. There's a new sheriff in town.
And finally, we come to our first official big gunfight. I'm bringing this to you uninterrupted so you get a real feel for what the game is about. I'll be back in just a few. Enjoy.
Not now.
As you can see, the gunfights feel really satisfying and immersive. The music, the action, all of the enemies, it really feels like you're there. I love it. You get a lot of points for moving around and confusing your enemies. Flanking them gives you the extra few seconds you need to get that edge and maybe pull off a headshot. And sneaking up on them and using your environment allows you to take groups of them at once. Gotta give Ubisoft a lot of kudos here for making the game feel really, well, just good. Now the game looks really good during the day, but it looks even better at night. I really love that eerie feeling of a dark environment, but sometimes it makes the games look really dark. In this case, Division 2 really did a good job making the game look eerie and mysterious, but light enough to be able to move around and see without having to constantly turn up your brightness settings. Once again, kudos to Ubisoft because this looks really good. And boy, does it feel good to sneak up on a few enemies, throw that grenade, take out the last one, running up to him with the pistol in hand like a boss. As you progress through the game, you will also encounter a bunch of settlements and places where you can set up a home base. Now the cool part about them, besides having the regular missions and side missions and a bunch of other stuff that you can do, these settlements grow with you. As you progress through the game, the settlements will progress with you. In this case, new additions will be added to the settlement as you do your missions. That's a really nice touch. I love that. Now the interior fighting of the game feels really good as well. Since the environment is so rich in detail, there are a lot of things to shoot, distract enemies with, hide behind, and etc. Whether you like to sneak in the shadows during the night or come in running and gunning during the day, fighting building to building and clearing rooms in this game proves to be really fun. It immerses you in the environment and makes you feel like you're really there. Those tiny little touches put all together is what makes this really an awesome experience.
Hostile radio intercepted.
I'm heading upstairs to the hostage. Everybody, get to the atrium.
Shit. Saint's here.
Who now?
Hyena big shot. Real unpleasant. We need to kill this asshole.
I have just about under 5 hours in this game, and the first few missions that I've played do feel pretty good. There's lots of gunfighting before you get to the boss, and then the boss level usually feels pretty satisfying. Most of the enemies do get harder as you go along. You start encountering those heavily armed units that do take a lot of bullets to die, and at times could feel quite challenging. Whether you're a methodical player and like to slowly clear the level as you move forward, or you're one of those run and gun crazy cowboys that wants to come in and shoot everything up, I do believe that this game suits either style very well. And here's some more uninterrupted gameplay. I'll be back in just a bit. Another thing I want to mention about Division 2 is the open world aspect. Now, this is not Grand Theft Auto or World of Warcraft, but for a shooter it really does offer a lot of value. There are plenty of things to do, and some of the side missions do actually offer a lot of difficulty. For example, the ones where you have to call in your troops and take over the hyena territory, or even other gangs. You get swarmed with lots of enemy units. Some of them having the heavy armor do prove to be quite difficult to take down. Make no mistake, you're in for a fight. There's also a crafting aspect to the game where you have to pick up a whole bunch of stuff in the world and bring it back to your home base to make things. You can also recruit folks to come on missions with you, as well as do a bunch of other settlement stuff while you're gone. There are a whole bunch of personal missions that you do for your friends to help out and etc. And sometimes you just walk into stuff, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, taking a wrong turn somewhere. Next thing I know, I'm in a gunfight with God knows who, taking out a whole bunch of enemies, but having a lot of fun. And that's what it's all about, having fun, which is something I sincerely hope you had while watching this video. There are more of these kind of videos planned for the future. Scrappy Academy is gearing up to bring you Division 2 content. You'll be able to get official gameplay days earlier than the release, as well as a week earlier on all the new patches and content coming out with the Year 1 package. You will also be able to follow me, the good old Captain Nemo, as I progress through the game. And we can even team up and play together if you have the game and into that sort of thing. In closing, I really hope that you enjoyed my first look into Tom Clancy's Division 2. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and folks, I will see you in the next one.